Out to show you. This is going to be a photomicrographic study of 3 specimens that were pulled out of one of my earliest clients, and she's a sweetheart of a woman. I have no idea why someone would want to do this to her. But this was done in 2018, and they surgically removed 3 specimens from her person. And what we did is we made sure that there was chain of custody on all the specimens that were removed, so that it was appropriate evidence and no one can say that it was altered in any way. And you can see it's this foreign body specimens, material specimens, and then what they found is these were semiconductors with waveguides. They also had nanotech in them, and I'll show you exactly what they look like.
What year was this taken from her?
2018.
2018.
Yes. So this is the first specimen. This is actually a nanowire. Our bodies don't reject these biosensors, and so our tissues will engulf them. So there is no rejection of these. And these are very, very small. They're approaching nano size of these specimens here. And they come in various shapes and sizes. So this is what we've concluded, that we believe that this is the reason that they are receiving this signal that they hear. And just to show you the progression of this technology, this is the Larson case. This was a politician in Southern California, and this was in late 2009, and he had over 10 of these biosensors removed from his person. Now look at the size of these sensors. This is 2 letters on a penny. This is how small they were in late 2009. They were in various shapes and sizes. This one here is about the size of four letters on a penny. But this was taken out of Mr. Larson, and he sued. And it was thrown out of court. And the reason it was thrown out of court was because he inadvertently signed up to be in an experiment. And what these biosensors were doing were sending real-time data of his physiology. And so this is part of our fight, is to make sure that when someone enters into experiment, that they are given full disclosure, because if Mr. Larson had been given full disclosure, he would never have allowed them to do what they've done. To show you what they were in size, in the early 40s, 50s, and up into the early 90s, they used to be the size of a large grain of rice. This case here is the Bob Boyce case. Now, Bob Boyce was an inventor of a high-efficiency engine, and he, when I spoke to him, he had developed terminal cancer. And he said to me, he just thought he was going to die from this cancer, and so that was going to be his life. Now, he was in what's called a Faraday cage, testing for RF leakage in his inventions. It's similar to the anechoic chamber, but on a much smaller version. Now, what we see here is a cancerous tumor. At the end of these tweezers, you'll see an RFID chip. And what Bob was doing, utilizing a similar device like we do when we test for RF emissions, the one accidentally swiped by one of his shoulders and it pinged. And he thought that was odd, went and got an x-ray so they could see this microchip in the middle of the tumor. So he had surgery, and I said, well, Bob, what did pathology say about the chip? Where's the chip? And he says it disappeared. So I said, well, I'm not surprised. But he was just happy that after they removed this first chip, that his cancer went into remission. And so he was very happy about that. But nonetheless, a short time later, the cancer came back very aggressively. He went back into the Faraday cage, rescanned his person, and they found a second chip. This time they were smarter about it, and they used chain of custody, just like we do in our cases, and they removed that second chip. Now, they were able to trace through the digital serial number of this microchip, and this microchip went back to an NSA database. And that's where his case got stonewalled. Wow. They said that it was a national security issue, and therefore they would not share any further information with us. So that is where we're at today.